Welcome. I'm glad you've taken a moment to listen to this story, Hansel and Gretel by the Brothers Grimm. I'm Richard Reeds. I'm delighted to be with you today to guide you into a tale of courage, cleverness, and the unbreakable bond between siblings. In this story, you will see how even the smallest hands and the gentlest hearts can find hope and cleverness in the darkest forests. Near a vast forest, there lived a poor woodcutter with his wife and 2 children. The boy was named Hansel and his sister Gretel. Their home was humble, and often they had barely enough to eat. One night, as the father lay tossing and turning in bed, he sighed deeply and said to his wife, "What will become of us? We cannot even feed the children. Soon there will be nothing left for ourselves."
"I will tell you what, husband," she replied. "Tomorrow morning we will take the children into the thickest part of the forest. We will make a fire, give each of them a piece of bread, and then go to our work and leave them. They will never find their way home, and we shall be rid of them."
"No, wife," he said. "I could never do that. I cannot leave my children alone in the forest. Wild beasts would devour them."
"Oh, you fool," she said. "Then we shall all starve. You had better get the coffins ready." And she would not rest until he agreed, though his heart ached for the children. The children, unable to sleep for hunger, had overheard their stepmother's cruel plan. Gretel wept bitterly. "It is all over for us," she said. "Be quiet, Gretel," Hansel whispered. "Do not fear. I will think of something." And when the parents slept, he quietly put on his coat, stepped out into the moonlit night, and gathered the white flints that gleamed like silver before their home. His little coat pocket was filled to the brim. Returning, he whispered to his sister, "Sleep peacefully, dear Gretel. God will not forsake us," and lay down again. At dawn, before the sun had risen, the stepmother woke the children. "Get up, lazy bones! We are going into the forest to cut wood," she said. She gave them each a piece of bread for the day, warning them not to eat it before mealtime. Gretel hid her bread under her apron, while Hansel's pockets held the flints. Together they set off. Hansel stopped often, pretending to admire things along the way. "Hansel, what are you looking at?" asked his father. "I am watching my little white kitten on the roof, bidding me goodbye," said Hansel. "You young fool," said the stepmother. "That is no kitten, but sunlight on the chimney." All the while, Hansel dropped the flints along the path. When they reached the forest's heart, the father told the children to gather wood for a fire. Hansel and Gretel collected brushwood, made a small fire, and sat beside it. At noon they ate their bread, thinking their father was at work, but it was only the wind rattling a dry branch. Soon they fell asleep from exhaustion. When night came, Gretel cried, "How will we ever find our way home?" "Wait for the moon," Hansel said. "Its light will show us the path." When the full moon rose, the flints glimmered like silver, and they followed them home, arriving at their father's house as dawn broke. The stepmother scolded them for sleeping too long, yet the father was overjoyed to see them. Soon famine returned, and the stepmother insisted the children be taken deeper into the forest so they could never find the way home. This time Hansel could not gather flints, the door was locked, but he comforted Gretel. "Do not cry. God will help us." Early the next morning the stepmother gave them smaller pieces of bread, and Hansel crumbled it along the road. When night fell, the crumbs were gone, eaten by birds, and the children wandered lost, hungry, and weary. They slept under a tree, exhausted
and frightened.
On the third morning, they saw a small white bird perched upon a bough, singing sweetly. It led them to a marvelous little house, whose walls were made of bread, roof of cakes, and windows of transparent sugar. "Let us eat a piece," said Hansel. He tasted the roof, while Gretel nibbled the window pane. Suddenly, a thin voice called from inside, "Nibble, nibble, like a mouse. Who is nibbling at my house?" "It is the wind," the children replied, and continued eating. The door opened, and an old woman emerged, leaning on a crutch. Though she appeared kind, she was a wicked witch, waiting to trap children for her feast. She invited them inside, fed them milk, pancakes, sugar, apples, and nuts, and gave them soft beds. Unbeknownst to them, she planned to fatten Hansel and cook him. Each day she inspected him, and he cleverly held out a bone, fooling her poor eyesight. Weeks passed, and she grew impatient. One morning she ordered Gretel to check the oven. The flames shone brightly, but Gretel, realizing the witch's intent, shoved her inside and closed the door. The witch screamed, trapped by her own cruel plan. Gretel freed Hansel, and together they explored the witch's house, finding chests of pearls and precious stones. Their pockets and apron filled with treasure, they set off, but soon reached a wide river. A white duck carried them across one by one, and they continued through the familiar forest until they glimpsed their father's house. They ran inside, embraced him, and were safe at last. The stepmother had died, and their joy was complete. From that day forward, Hansel and Gretel lived in peace, their hearts light, their pockets full, and their bond stronger than ever. Thank you for listening. This story reminds us that cleverness, courage, and the love of family can guide us even through the darkest forests, and that hope can always shine when we trust in it. I am Richard Reeds, and perhaps we will meet again when a new story is ready to be told.